Upgrades. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. This review here is a film that I did not know was coming out. 2 is on a streaming service that's not the big streaming service, but it's definitely a streaming service in Apple Plus that is on the rise of doing these bigger type of films with big stars in it. And this one is a nice little family romp that it's, while not the best movie humanly possible, but nonetheless still entertaining throughout all its flaws. And this one is called The Family Plan. And here's a quick synopsis. A former top assassin living incognito as a suburban dad must take his unsuspecting family on the run when his past catches up with him. And this is directed by Simon Jones. It stars Mark Wahlberg as Dan Morgan and Michelle Monaghan as Jessica Morgan. Now, I'll start off by saying this. Family Plan is, if you've seen this trope in the 90s, early 2000s, we all got the big trope of the hidden assassin or spy or just a military dad who's just at this point just minute. He's someone he's unsuspecting. He becomes this kind of like a hermit in a sense where he's just so passive. He just allows everything to be let go. And that's how we're introduced to Dan, played by Mark Wahlberg, as just this regular dad who's just there for his family, wants him and his wife to celebrate their anniversary. Nothing big, nothing grand. It just so happens through all of this, we also get a play on social media and how things can be exposed when you don't want them to be exposed. So throughout the beginning of the film, we see him and his wife go on their normal anniversary date night. It's the same place, same carnival that they met at years ago. It's the same celebration of everything. And he gets bullied. And we see the reaction of his wife when he gets bullied. Here it lays the groundwork of letting you understand, like, okay, this is a guy who has great restraint because he could probably rip these guys limb from limb, but he doesn't want to do it. Until we get to an action scene, one of the funniest action scenes humanly possible for me this year, of Dan taking his infant child to the grocery store to pick up diapers, and he gets attacked by an assassin in the grocery store. trying to pick up diapers. It is an amazingly choreographed, funny scene that really, at that point, sets the tone for what you're going to get through the rest of this movie. Because at this point, we do get the big road trip where he has to pick up his family, get new identities, not tell them anything that's going on. He sets up this amazing road trip for his family while they don't understand the only reason they're doing this road trip is because he needs to start them on a new life. That is the gist of the family plan. And that's what you're in it for here. You're in it for the hijinks and the hijinks alone. Simon Jones does a great job of setting up the hijinks in this one, because I think that's the key part to a film like this. When you know everything that's going to happen, what you want to see is, are the set pieces going to be properly delivered to keep you intrigued as an audience? And for the family plan, they managed to do that for majority of this film. It's silly. It gets points of this film where you wonder how the heck didn't the family know what was going on. It is a chase scene in the first half of the film where assassins are chasing him in his minivan on the highway, and his family's all asleep with headphones on, listening to soothing music, and he just turns the soothing music up as all this gunshots and mayhem is all around. The only one not asleep at this time is the baby, who's enjoying every element of this chase scene. Again, that is just the gist of what you're going to get out here, out the family plan. What the family plan banks on is that Mark Wahlberg's charisma is strong enough to almost push any silly plot forward. And that's what you get here with the family plan. It is an extremely silly plot. Even when we get to the gist of him being an assassin and who he's working for as an assassin, can't tell you that because it would be a spoiler. But even when all of that is revealed and it just gets sillier and sillier and sillier, you still accept it because it's Mark Wahlberg. And he just has enough charm to keep you invested in this entire film. Now, will I say this is one of the best films of the year? Absolutely not. But I don't think that's the goal of the family plan. The goal of the family plan is that it fits a niche market of the family action comedy that we haven't really gotten a lot of this year. And this film perfectly suits a family action comedy, like the perfect like Saturday afternoon film you would watch with your family. That's what or even Saturday night film you would watch with your family. That's what the family plan is made for. It's made for that type of audience. And because it's made for that type of audience, you kind of excuse the point that by the second half of this film, nothing makes any sense. So much stuff happens, and you're just wondering, how is it that they have not figured out yet that everything he's doing is not normal? But again, as long as you stay along with the ride and along with the family bonding that happens on this ride, like it does a great job of showing two parents who feel like they're overwhelmed with children, overwhelmed with work, and then they get to cut loose on this trip. His wife, played by Michelle Monaghan, does an amazing scene at a college that amazingly, while they're on this road trip, their daughter still wants to visit a college that they're driving by because her boyfriend goes to this college. And we see a scene with her mom, Jessica, as a party girl in a way. It's an amazingly set up scene, but it's just a scene just to show the kids, like, hey, your parents are still human. Like, your parents are still these fun-loving people. They just happen to have to be your parents. Again, it's so innocent and so joyful at times that you excuse that none of this makes any sense. And I know I'm saying that a lot. This movie makes absolutely no sense. The plot of it is one of the worst plots humanly possible. But again, what you're in tune for, and what you tune in for, is Mark Wahlberg, and just the family dynamic that keeps on pushing through. It deals with social media and how we are trapped in social media and how that can take over our lives. It deals with gaming and how an obsessive culture that can be for teenagers. And as a parent, how is your job to make sure they're not overdoing it? And that's also a subplot with them and their son, is that they're trying to keep him off of always gaming because it takes away from him actually meeting real people. But then there's a message about how gaming is still good and he can still make friends. You know, just the normal ABC family drama type stuff that you can get out of these type of films. But again, the whole time you're watching this, what makes it believable is that as a family unit, they seem believable. Throughout all the hijinks that you go through, the unit of the father, mother, 3 kids all seem believable, including the baby, who doesn't do much, but he seems believable as a baby. So because of that element, it keeps you intrigued throughout the entire film, to the big reveal of the third act. And with films like this, you know going into it, the third act is going to just be bonkers. And this film is no different. It's a nice twist in the third act, but unless you've never seen these type of films before, you should expect the twist to happen. But nonetheless, it's enough to keep you intrigued into this film. So if you are accustomed to the films of The Pacifier with Vin Diesel, possibly that's a good one. Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's another one. It was another one with Dennis Quaid and Kathleen Turner. I think they had a baby and they were both spies. Like that type of silly, nice romp. If that's what you're in for, if that's what you're into, this could really be a film as a family unit you could really enjoy. But the family plan brought to you by Apple Plus, which it is currently available on Apple Plus. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give the family plan a 6 out of 10. No, I'm not judging this movie like I would judge a drama. Nor am I judging this movie like I would judge the great award season films that we're getting at this point. But just as a film that you can sit down with your family and enjoy, this is it. It's not much to think about here. This is something that I think can keep adults intrigued enough to get through the film and really keep kids, preteens on their toes and keep them excited. That's the main point of the family plan. And I think it does that in spades, along with an amazingly charismatic performance by Mark Wahlberg that just reminds you that he is a movie star. He knows how to do this. He knows how to keep you intrigued. And to see him playing a father of a certain age in this film, it's really good. It's really good to see him growing with roles as he's getting older to where he's more comfortable and doesn't have to always play the machismo tough man all the time. Here we just get the dad who's trying his best to make sure his family stays safe, while also addressing his past. So again, it's something that I think you could like, but check it out on Apple Plus and let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.